maybe it's not necessarily an issue of a generational issue among men per se, but more so just around the social dynamic and the working responsibilities of the male in the home at that point in time. So if they were working, they felt like they almost were the one that paved the way for the family home and all those assets that the family owned. And so in that sense or that train of thought, it's theirs theoretically, and that's the perception they had. Whereas now you look at a lot more opportunities for women. You only have to look at the NRLW and all these sporting opportunities for women these days, which is fantastic. So there's a lot more opportunity for them now. But it's quite a scary statistic that, like, the start of this year, we've had the highest rate of murders of women in, I think, Australia in years. Yet coercion has been now become a prisonable offence. So do you think we're going forward or backwards, or where do you think we are with this issue?
I think we're going forwards, uh, but these homicide rates are just out of control, and you know the propensity of domestic violence, is still so dangerously high. Um, you know, there's a there's a huge amount of work that's being done, and rightfully so, to try to educate people to report domestic violence, to educate neighbours and strangers to help women in this situation, to demand of men that they um, um, meet standards that any civilized society must have. And it must be better in many ways, because um, governments and police services and other um, um, groups dedicated to domestic violence are so much better educated and resourced than what they were. Um, you'll never eradicate it, of course. I mean, there are some lofty ambitions, and people talk about uh, ending domestic violence. The sad reality is it's a bit like, the idea that we could end fraud, or, end murder. I mean, it is unattainable. There will be red mists that just descend on um, people who have a propensity to hurt women. And probably the most that we can hope for is that more people act sooner to try to nip it in the bud when it's visible, when it's um, capable of being stopped, and the perpetrator arrested, and hopefully given a bit of a flogging on the way into the watch house, um, before there is another fatality. And I think that you know the role of good male role models, coppers and prosecutors and others who work with domestic violence, um, and in the media, the role of men exposing other men who are harming women is, or has never been, more important